Welcome to the 10 Days Before Christmas, a collection of modern BL short stories, told softly between falling snow, quiet lights, and those small moments where everything can change. Each day leading up to Christmas, a meeting, a pause, a confession, a simple story, but never an ordinary one. Take a breath. Settle in. Here is today's story. Morning light slid through the curtains and soft, uneven stripes. No alarms, no obligations, just the quiet familiarity of the apartment Ben and I had learned how to share since summer. I woke first, the way I usually did now, not because my mind was racing, but because my body had stopped bracing. That still surprised me. For most of my adult life, waking up had meant inventory, what I'd forgotten, what I'd failed to prepare for, what version of myself I'd need to be that day. This morning, I didn't inventory anything. I listened. The apartment made its small sounds, radiator ticking, floor settling, the distant hush of snow against glass. And beside me, Ben breathed slowly, deeply, like someone who finally trusted that nothing bad was waiting for him in the dark. We hadn't always slept like this. When we first moved in together in July, Ben slept light, restless, one foot always half out of the blankets, like he needed an escape route. He said it was the heat. I knew better. Ben had grown up learning that comfort was temporary, that stability could disappear without warning. Even now, months later, safety was something he practiced, not something he assumed. But this morning, Christmas morning, he was still. His hand rested near my chest, fingers loose, unguarded. A small thing. A huge thing. I turned carefully, slow enough not to disturb him. The blankets shifted, and Ben stirred. "Morning," he murmured, eye still closed. "Merry Christmas," I whispered. He smiled faintly, like the words had landed somewhere deep. "Is it actually Christmas?" "It is." He exhaled, something like relief in the sound. "Okay, good." We stayed there, wrapped together, the room warming gradually with daylight. The longer we lay there, the more aware I became of how different this felt from every Christmas I could remember. No performance, no proving, no carefully managed expectations. Just us in the space we'd chosen together. "Do you feel different?" Ben asked quietly. I knew what he meant. He always asked questions like that, careful, observant, a little afraid of the answer. I checked myself the way I'd learned to, scanned for anxiety, for distance, for the familiar loneliness that used to greet me even when I wasn't alone. It wasn't there. "No," I said. Then I corrected myself. "Not different, just right." Ben's hand pressed lightly against my chest, like he was confirming something for himself, too. We'd spent months learning how to live together without losing ourselves, learning each other's silences, learning which habits were scars and which were preferences. Ben needed predictability, not control, just warning. Sudden changes unsettled him. Raised voices shut him down completely. He hated feeling like a disappointment, even when no one had accused him of being one. I'd learned to slow down, to say things clearly instead of assuming they were understood, to stay present when things got uncomfortable instead of retreating into competence and calm. Living together hadn't been dramatic. It had been steady. Ben rolled onto his back and stretched, groaning softly. "I swear the mattress got lower overnight." "That's aging," I said. He cracked one eye open. "Rude." I smiled and brushed my thumb along the edge of his hand. "Coffee?" "Yes," he said immediately, before I become unpleasant. "You're already unpleasant," I told him, and he laughed, a real laugh, unguarded. That laugh had taken time. When we first moved in, Ben rationed his joy like it might run out. Happiness to him had always come with a cost. Someone would eventually ask for more than he could give or leave when he failed to deliver. I kissed his forehead. "Come on." We padded into the kitchen, socks sliding softly on the floor. The Christmas tree lights blinked lazily in the corner. Our tree. Uneven, mismatched, filled with ornaments we'd accumulated over the years and a few we bought together this fall. It still felt new, this idea of our things. Ben filled the kettle. I set up the coffee. He leaned against the counter, watching me. You look calm, I glanced over. Is that surprising? He shrugged. A little. You're usually thinking 3 steps ahead. I smiled faintly. I'm trying to stop. He nodded, much more than I'd said. Ben had spent years in survival mode before we met, stringing together short relationships that felt safe because they never got deep enough to hurt. He was the reliable one growing up, the emotional mediator in a family that didn't handle conflict well. He learned early that wanting too much made people leave faster. Living with him had taught me how deeply that belief was wired into him. Coffee brewed, snow fell. We sat on the floor by the tree, mugs warming our hands. Gifts were small, thoughtful. When Ben opened the notebook I'd chosen, one sturdy enough to survive his habit of overthinking, he went quiet. You notice things, he said after a moment. I notice you, I replied. That nearly undid him. He gave me the photo I'd taken months ago, without him knowing, us decorating the tree, Ben laughing, completely unaware of being seen. His hands shook slightly when he held it. I forget I look like that, he admitted. I won't, I said. We hugged, long and quiet, letting the morning stretch. But under the calm, something else pressed at my ribs. The ring waited where I'd left it. Part 2. Choosing each other out loud. We went for a walk after breakfast, bundled up against the cold. The neighborhood was hushed, snow smoothing the edges of everything. Ben slipped his hand into mine without hesitation. That too was new. He squeezed my fingers. You're nervous. I smiled. Am I that obvious? Yes, he said. You get intentional. I laughed softly, heart pounding. We reached the small park a few blocks away. No footprints yet. The snow lay untouched, like an invitation. Ben stepped forward first, leaving a mark. Ben turned back to me. Okay, now it's real. I followed him. Evidence. He nodded. We stood there for a moment, breath fogging the air. This feels like one of those moments, Ben said quietly, the ones people remember. I took a breath. I hope so. He looked at me then, truly looked. What's going on, Alex? I didn't dodge it. I never wanted to dodge things with him again. I've been thinking about us, I said. About this summer. About how moving in together didn't scare me the way I thought it would. His brow furrowed slightly. I've spent most of my life thinking commitment meant losing myself. But living with you didn't make me smaller. It made me steadier. Ben's throat worked. And I know this isn't easy for you, I said gently. Letting someone plan a future with you, trusting that wanting permanence doesn't mean you'll be punished for it. His eyes shone now. I know you're afraid of being too much, I said. But Ben, you have never been too much for me. You've been exactly enough every day. I pulled the box from my pocket. His breath caught sharply. I knelt in the snow, heart loud, hands steady. Ben, I said, voice clear despite everything in me shaking. Will you marry me? Will you keep choosing this life with me? Ordinary days, hard days, all of it. He covered his mouth, tears spilling freely now. I spent so long believing love had conditions, that if I failed at being easy, people would leave. I stood, closing the distance. I'm not leaving. He nodded, crying openly now. Yes, he said. Yes, I want this. I want you. I slid the ring onto his finger. It fit like it had always belonged there. We kissed, slow, imperfect, real. When we walked home, his hand never left mine. Back inside, warmth wrapped around us. Ben leaned against me, ring glinting softly in the light. I feel different, he said. I smiled. Good different? He nodded. Chosen. I held him close. So was I. Christmas didn't arrive loudly. It arrived quietly, in a shared apartment, in a future spoken aloud, in two people finally believing they were allowed to stay. Christmas night. Epilogue. That night, the apartment was darker, quieter. The tree lights were the only things still awake, blinking softly in the corner like they were keeping watch. Outside, the snow had stopped. The street below lay smooth and undisturbed, as if the day had been carefully folded away. Ben sat on the couch beside me, barefoot, curled slightly inward the way he did when he was tired but content. The ring caught the light every time he moved his hand. I noticed every time. I don't think I would ever stop noticing. "You keep looking at it," he said, not accusing, amused. "I know," I admitted. "I'm just making sure it's real." He smiled and leaned his head against my shoulder. The weight of him there felt permanent in the best possible way. "I used to think nights like this were dangerous," he said quietly. "Like if things got too calm, something bad would follow." I pressed a kiss into his hair. "What do you think now?" He was quiet for a moment, breathing me in. "I think calm can just be calm." The words settled between us, warm and unafraid. We didn't do anything special after that. No announcements, no planning. Just dishes rinsed, blankets pulled close, the slow unwinding of a day that had already given us everything. When we went to bed, Ben reached for me without hesitation, fingers lacing with mine like it was instinct now. "Merry Christmas," he whispered, already drifting. "Merry Christmas," I answered. And in the quiet that followed, no expectations, no performance, I understood something simple and final. This wasn't a moment we would outgrow. It was the life we were choosing. And that was today's story, one of 10 stories gently leading us toward Christmas. If this moment stayed with you, feel free to leave a comment or share it with someone who enjoys stories told from the heart. We'll meet again tomorrow for another encounter, another quiet spark, and one step closer to Christmas. Until then, take care and leave a little room for softness.